Your current circumstances, no matter how good or bad, can make or break you in every sense of those words. Because truly, no matter how well or poorly perceived the situation is, there's always something to gain from it. So with that being said, it all just comes down to what life you would like to live. Would you like to live a life that is filled with short-term disdain but long-term pleasure, or one that is vice versa, with short-term pleasure but long-term disdain? And once you figure out what answer you would like there, suppose you would love to live a life where you have to just suffer a little bit now to reap a big benefit later, the first thing you would probably do is look for ways to give yourself opportunity. And while it might not be something that you enjoy, that even your soul sits right with, if it is for a temporary amount of time and you have a vision past this, I believe it is much more manageable than just going blindly into things that don't really seem to have any tunnel at the end. I think this is something that is very prevalent in my generation, at least. When it comes down to it, I feel like a lot of us don't really plan out things and kind of just hope for some type of thing that will save us out of our misery and kind of just contempt generally. We all long for a life that is free from average BS and just general hardship, but typically don't find ways to mitigate that hardship and instead kind of just face ourselves with the reality that things are hopeless and we don't really have a choice in how the world works or what we can do to save ourselves. And while I can understand where that worldview comes from and have partaken in it for quite a big portion of my life, it also kind of brings up the question in my head, at least, that what's the point in thinking like this? Sure, it could be completely true, but truthfully, how does that help us? Sure, it could keep us more grounded in reality, or maybe even kind of relate more to our peers, but beyond that, it only disempowers us and makes us feel more hopeless and depressed and everything else that falls under that umbrella. So with that being said, I feel like generally it is much more helpful to be hopeful yet realistic in your not expectations, but your circumstance. For example, if we take my YouTube channel, I have 441 subscribers, thank you guys by the way, but I am pulling anywhere from 37 to 9 views on my most recent videos. And I haven't really had a decent amount of views since my debooking video, which for the most part was something that I was proud of, but I don't really like making that style of YouTube video, so that audience that I generated was essentially pointless. Cool that they got their eyes on me, but now I'm kind of in between a content crisis is the best way to put it, where I don't really have a certain style that I'm posting. So the people who enjoyed that debunking video and want more of that type of content aren't going to find it, and they're just going to see a bunch of random stuff that is all over the place. Now, granted, I wasn't really thinking of taking YouTube seriously, and even now contemplate if I should do it, but if I am seeking growth and using a platform that I can use to potentially get myself out of whatever situation I'm currently living in, everything looks a bit messy. And I can already tell that to get the algorithm that I'm looking for, potentially with this new style that I'm trying, where I'm just kind of talking about stuff, I'm going to have to post a lot more videos like this. But literally the video right before the one I posted yesterday is completely unrelated. And the video before that is also completely unrelated. My point being, my current hope is that I blow up by using this weird style that I'm trying out right now and just kind of talking. But realistically speaking, there isn't enough traction or enough real build up beforehand to find a stable audience. Because let's say someone really likes this video and wants more videos like this, they can see the last video and be like, okay, what's that about? Click on it and enjoy it. But beyond that, there isn't much more to binge. Sure, they can look back into my catalog, I guess we can say, of my old videos, but a lot of it has to do with just random games or just Roblox content. So that being said, my expectations would be a bit unrealistic to say that someone will find this video, love it, watch the last one, love it, and then continue to binge the rest of my channel because of how diverse it is, for lack of a better word. My entire point being that it is important to be grounded in the reality of your situation, but also not to let that groundedness block what is above you and what can potentially happen. So, once again, be hopeful, but also be realistic. You can achieve a lot, you just have to figure out the pattern and pivot based off of it. With that being said, I love you all and I appreciate every second that you've gave me. Have a good rest of your day and night.